Marcus Chen stood frozen in the doorway of his own mansion, his hands trembling as he clutched the surprise birthday cake he'd rushed home to deliver to his 8-year-old daughter Emma. What he witnessed in that moment would haunt him forever and change everything he thought he knew about his family. There, in the pristine marble foyer of their Beverly Hills home, his wife of 3 years, Victoria, towered over his precious daughter who was on her knees, tears streaming down her face as she frantically scrubbed the floor with a toothbrush. "You missed a spot, you little brat," Victoria hissed, her designer heel dangerously close to Emma's tiny fingers. "Maybe if you weren't so clumsy, you wouldn't have spilled grape juice on my imported Italian marble. Now scrub harder, or you'll be doing this all night." If this story moves you, please take a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Trillionaire in Love. Your support means the world to us, and we have so many more inspiring stories to share with you. Marcus felt his heart shatter into a million pieces. This was his daughter, his world, his reason for breathing since her mother passed away when Emma was just 3 years old. The cake slipped from his numb fingers, crashing to the floor in an explosion of frosting and candles. The sound made both Victoria and Emma look up, their faces telling completely different stories. Victoria's expression shifted instantly from cruel dominance to practiced innocence, her voice suddenly honey-sweet. "Oh, darling, you're home early. Emma had a little accident with her juice, and I was just teaching her responsibility. You know how important it is for children to learn consequences." But Emma's eyes, those beautiful brown eyes that reminded Marcus so much of her late mother Sarah, were filled with terror and something else that cut him deeper than any business loss ever could: shame. His daughter was ashamed, and in that moment, Marcus realized this wasn't the first time. How many times had he been blind to his daughter's suffering while building his empire? Marcus had worked tirelessly for 5 years since Sarah's death, building his tech company from a small startup to a $1 billion corporation. He told himself he was doing it all for Emma, to secure her future, to give her everything she could ever want. But somewhere along the way, in boardrooms and international flights, in merger meetings and investor calls, he had lost sight of what Emma truly needed: him. Victoria had entered their lives like a whirlwind of sophistication and charm. She was everything Marcus thought he needed: someone who could manage his household, attend social functions, and provide Emma with a mother figure. She had been perfect, or so it seemed. Beautiful, intelligent, well connected in high society circles, and she had seemed to adore Emma during their courtship. "Emma, sweetheart, stand up," Marcus said softly, his voice barely above a whisper, but carrying the weight of a man who had just seen his entire world crumble. He walked toward his daughter, careful not to step in the scattered cake, and gently helped her to her feet. Her knees were red and scraped from the harsh marble, her school uniform dirty and torn. "Daddy, I'm sorry," Emma whispered, her voice so small it broke something fundamental inside Marcus's chest. "I didn't mean to spill. I was just excited because today is my birthday, and I thought maybe we could have cake together. But Victoria said you were too busy, and that clumsy girls don't deserve birthday treats." The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. Today was Emma's birthday, and he had forgotten. In all his success, in all his wealth, in all his achievements, he had forgotten his own daughter's birthday. And worse, he had left her alone with a woman who was systematically destroying her spirit. Victoria moved quickly, her arms sliding around Marcus's waist in a gesture that had once felt loving, but now felt manipulative. "Sweetheart, you know I would never be cruel to Emma. She's just being dramatic. Children her age often exaggerate when they're in trouble. I was simply teaching her that actions have consequences, which is what any responsible parent would do." But Marcus wasn't listening to Victoria anymore. He was studying his daughter's face, really looking at her for the first time in months. Emma had grown thinner, her usual bright smile replaced by a careful, guarded expression. There were faint dark circles under her eyes, and her shoulders were perpetually hunched as if she was trying to make herself invisible. "Emma," Marcus said, kneeling down to meet her at eye level, something he realized he hadn't done in far too long. "I want you to go to your room and pack some clothes. We're leaving." Victoria's mask slipped completely. "Leaving? Marcus, don't be ridiculous. You can't seriously be considering uprooting your life because of a child's tantrum. Think about your image, your business relationships, our social standing." "My social standing." Marcus stood slowly, his voice carrying a cold edge that had made billion-dollar competitors tremble. "My image, Victoria, my only image that matters is the one reflected in my daughter's eyes. And right now, she sees a father who failed to protect her." The confrontation that followed revealed the depth of Victoria's deception. Under pressure, she finally showed her true colors, admitting that she had never wanted Emma in their lives, that the child was an inconvenience she had tolerated for access to Marcus's wealth and status. She had been systematically isolating Emma, punishing her for minor infractions, and ensuring that Marcus remained too distracted by business to notice. "She's not even your real daughter," Victoria screamed, her composure completely shattered. "She's just some man's leftover baggage that you're too sentimental to get rid of. I could give you real children, heirs worthy of your fortune." The silence that followed was deafening. Marcus looked at Victoria as if seeing her for the first time, which in many ways he was. Then he turned to Emma, who had heard every cruel word, and saw his daughter trying to be brave even as tears rolled down her cheeks. "Emma," Marcus said firmly, "you are my real daughter in every way that matters. You are my heart, my soul, and my greatest achievement. Nothing and no one will ever change that." What happened next would be talked about in their social circles for years to come. Marcus didn't just ask Victoria to leave. He systematically removed every trace of her influence from their lives. He called his lawyer while she was still standing in their foyer, initiating divorce proceedings and ensuring she would receive exactly what their prenuptial agreement stipulated, which was significantly less than she had assumed. But Marcus's real transformation began with Emma. He realized that all the money in the world meant nothing if he wasn't present for the moments that truly mattered. He restructured his entire company, promoting trusted executives and implementing systems that would allow him to be the father Emma deserved while still maintaining his business empire. The road to rebuilding their relationship wasn't easy. Emma had been hurt deeply, not just by Victoria's cruelty, but by her father's absence during the most formative years of her young life. She was hesitant to trust, afraid to hope that this new version of her father would stick around. Marcus enrolled them both in family therapy, something that challenged every instinct he had about handling problems privately. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, their therapist, helped them navigate the complex emotions and establish new patterns of communication. Emma slowly began to share the extent of Victoria's psychological abuse, revealing incidents that made Marcus physically ill to hear. There had been days when Emma was denied meals for minor infractions, times when she was locked in a room for hours, and a constant stream of verbal abuse designed to make her feel worthless and unwanted. Victoria had been careful never to leave physical marks, but the emotional scars ran deep. The healing process took time, patience, and more emotional vulnerability than Marcus had ever allowed himself. He learned to put away his phone during dinner, to attend every school play and soccer game, to braid Emma's hair, even though his first attempts were disasters that made them both laugh until their sides hurt. Emma flourished under her father's attention and love. The scared, withdrawn child gradually transformed back into the bright, curious, joyful little girl she had been before Victoria entered their lives. She began excelling in school again, made new friends, and slowly started to trust that her father's love was permanent and unconditional. 1 year after that terrible day in the foyer, Marcus and Emma returned from a father-daughter camping trip, dirty and exhausted but laughing together over Emma's attempts to catch fish with her bare hands. As they pulled into their driveway, Emma turned to her father with a serious expression. "Daddy," she said carefully, I want to tell you something important." Marcus felt his heart skip, worried that she might have more painful memories to share. "What is it, sweetheart?" "I'm really glad Victoria showed you her true colors that day," Emma said with wisdom far beyond her 9 years. "Because if she hadn't, we might never have found our way back to each other. And even though it hurt, I would rather have one real parent who loves me completely than 2 fake parents who are just pretending." Marcus pulled his daughter into the tightest hug of his life, tears streaming down his face as he realized the profound truth in her words. Sometimes life's most devastating moments become the catalyst for its greatest transformations. Today, Marcus and Emma have an unbreakable bond. Marcus still runs his successful company, but he's also present for every important moment in his daughter's life. He learned that true wealth isn't measured in bank accounts or stock portfolios, but in the love and trust of the people who matter most. Emma is now a confident teenager who knows without question that she is loved and valued. She often speaks at youth events about resilience and the importance of speaking up when something doesn't feel right. The scared little girl who was forced to kneel in her own home has become a young woman who stands tall and speaks with authority about her worth. As for Victoria, she faded from their lives as quickly as she had entered, a cautionary tale about the difference between loving someone and loving what they can provide. Marcus occasionally hears updates through mutual acquaintances, but Victoria's fate no longer holds any interest for him. His focus remains entirely on building a beautiful life with his daughter, and ensuring that she never again doubts her place in his heart. The marble floor in their foyer was eventually replaced with warm hardwood, but Marcus kept a small piece of the original marble in his office as a reminder of the day he almost lost everything that truly mattered. It serves as a daily reminder that success means nothing without love, and that being present for the people who matter is the only achievement that truly counts. This story reminds us all that sometimes our greatest failures can become the foundation for our most meaningful successes, and that it's never too late to choose love over everything else that seems important but ultimately isn't. Thank you for joining us for this emotional journey. If this story touched your heart or reminded you of what truly matters in life, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, leave a comment about your own experiences with family or resilience, and subscribe to Trillionaire in Love for more inspiring stories that celebrate the power of authentic relationships and unconditional love. Your engagement helps us reach more people who might need exactly this reminder today.